Well, hello there. Welcome back. My name is Carolin Soldo, and this is another episode with the most powerful business scaling strategies to grow your powerhouse business. This episode is all about PR, public relations, and publicity. So many people shy away from it. Why is that? Because they're not comfortable with it, because it's awkward, or maybe because they're not clear about their message. They don't know what their big message is or even how to communicate it. And I know from experience that public relations has the power to grow your business really quickly and achieve almost explosive growth if you're doing it the right way. So I brought on my friend Jen Gottlieb. She is the Chief Mindset Officer at Superconnector Media. She's a good friend of mine. She is an incredible expert and she has fantastic experience in the media world. And I want to talk to Jen about how to really leverage public relations. As always, before we get started, hit the bell and subscribe to our channel so you get notified when new episodes become available here every week. Welcome to Powerhouse Business on YouTube. I'm your host, Carolin Soldo. I'm a business owner, business scaling master, and mom of 2 boys. I love thinking big, pushing boundaries, and doing things differently. Most of all, I'm all about achieving massive growth with ease and helping you scale your business by living the life you love. Let's go. Jen Gottlieb is the co-founder and chief mindset officer at Superconnector Media. Jen's plethora of experience in health and wellness coaching, 14-season run as co-host on VH1 and a Broadway national tour has naturally led into her role as host of Unfair Advantage Live, the world's premier publicity event connecting entrepreneurs to the media. Under the Unfair Advantage Accelerator program, Jen supports and works with entrepreneurs to elevate personal mindset into achieving goals beyond their expectations. Welcome, Jen. Hi, Jen. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome.
Hi, Carolyn. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you have this really special way, I know, of combining publicity and media with a powerful mindset behind it. And I'm really excited to talk to you about not just how to get, publicity and get in the media, but also about how to get ourselves ready for it, meaning getting comfortable with it, getting into the right mindset, and also getting really clear on our message, which I think is really important when we do that. So tell me a little bit about right away, what to you is a strong mindset when it comes to publicity, and how do we need to show up?
So getting yourself into the media, like what you just said, when you first start to explore that and start thinking about talking about what you do to everybody, it can be really scary. I do this all the time, and I was an actress for my entire life, and I still get scared when I go to do even a Facebook Live or something like this, or a podcast interview or a TV interview, because at the end of the day, like, we're humans, and we've got insecurities, and we've got those limiting beliefs in the back of our mind that creep in no matter who we are. I don't care who you are. I've actually done a lot of research about imposter syndrome, which is that feeling of, feeling like a fraud or feeling like maybe you're not good enough to talk about what you do. And all of the greatest performers, actors, athletes, they all have experienced imposter syndrome. So it's a real thing. And I think the very first step to, getting into a great mindset about the media is to just realize that you're human and it's okay to be nervous. It's okay. Like, it's totally normal. Everybody feels nervous. It's really easy to go onto Instagram and social media and Facebook and see other people that are just crushing it and, getting in the media, and it's so easy for them. But you're only seeing their highlight reel. You're only seeing the outcome. You're not seeing what went on behind the scenes or how scared they were before they went on. So, we at Superconnector Media, at our company, we really are doing things differently because we're addressing those fears. And we're helping people talk about those fears and just say, oh my God, yes, that was freaking scary, and this is how I got through it, and giving people the tools to start to be, feel more like enough. And that word comes through a lot. We all, a lot of the times imposter syndrome just comes from not feeling like we're enough or not feeling like we're good enough. And there's a lot of different tips and tools that I can give you guys to just feel a little bit more enough. And when you feel a little bit more enough and then you do the thing and you put yourself out into the media, it gets easier. Then you're like, oh wow, that wasn't that bad. I can do that again. Right. And then you do it again. And then you're like, oh my God, that was even easier. And so it becomes a really amazing snowball effect, how you become confident more and more and more the more that you do it.
Right. Yeah, so that we practice, we experience, that we didn't die when we, were interviewed or we went on the stage and spoke and publicly or on TV or anything like that. But does it ever go away? Do you feel like that feeling ever goes away? And how can we reframe that to make it into, a more positive experience?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you that it fully goes away. Now, it gets easier. So I remember the very first time I did a Facebook Live. Now, I'm an actress. I've been performing my whole life on stages in front of hundreds, thousands of people. Mm-hmm. And the first time I did a Facebook Live was probably 2 years ago. And Carolin, I had never been so scared in my entire life, ever, ever. And I always remember that because now I still do get a little bit nervous, but I'm never as scared as I was that first time.
Sure.
And you can make it a more positive experience. There's a few ways that you can do it, but what I've had to learn a lot of different things to do before I step out into the media or before I get on stage or before I do a Facebook Live to pump me up and make me feel good. And I've been teaching them, and it's really, really helped a lot of people because the hardest part is just taking action and doing it the first time. And like I said, once you do it once, it gets easier, and then it gets easier, and then it gets easier. But it's like that first action step. So what are some things that you can do to make that first action step a little less sucky?
Yeah.
There's this amazing tool that I use, and it's called the Badass List. And for anybody that has any kind of imposter syndrome or feels like they are just not good enough, or maybe those thoughts of like, who am I to be talking about this? Why do I, like, who's going to listen to me? I don't know what I'm talking about. One day they're all going to figure out that I'm really not that great. The thing is sometimes we get really separated from how great we are because it's us and we're too close to it. Mm-hmm. So we forget how amazing we really, really are. And we have to remind ourselves. Mm-hmm. So what I do is I do this in my cell phone. So in my iPhone, so I can always have it with me. I take out my notes in my iPhone and I write down a list of all of the times in my life where I was a complete and total badass. So it could be it doesn't have to be entrepreneurial related. It could be the moment that you married your husband, the moment that you had your child. It could be when you helped a client have a major aha moment, or when you made your first sale, or when you spoke on stage and you were like, oh, I am the shit. I am amazing. I'm such a badass. Mm-hmm. All of those times in your life, do a dump list and write them all out in your phone so you always have them. And before you go do something scary, pull that thing out. And here's the key though. You're going to read it. You're going to read it out loud, but you're not going to read it as if you're reading about yourself. You're going to read as if you are reading about somebody else that you are like FOMOing over on social media. You know, those people that you're comparing yourself to? Mm-hmm. Read it like you are reading about someone else. Mm-hmm. And I want you to like marvel at that person and be jealous of that person. And be like, holy crap, that person's pretty cool. Oh my God. And then take a beat and remember, okay, that's me. Because we forget. And if I could do all of those things, this is easy.
Do this, yeah. That's so hard for people, right? And then we feel, arrogant and who are we and all of that stuff comes up. Totally get it. I read something on your Facebook page, and I don't know when you posted it, maybe recently, maybe not, but it was all about this idea that we actually owe it to the world, like we owe it to the people out there to share our message. And it was all about not to be shy about it, to just tell people, why you want to do this and how you want to help them and what you have to give, because it's service, right? And you're serving people with what you do. And that felt really good to me, coming from this place of service and knowing that I'm worthy and I'm good enough to do it, and knowing, why that is, but also thinking, like leaving myself out of the picture and focusing on just giving, being of service and helping people.
Totally. People get stuck because they don't want to sound braggy or salesy.
Totally.
So we always say, like that post was, promotion isn't gross, it's your responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And people feel like, I don't want to be gross, I don't want to be braggy, I don't want to be that person that people are like, oh my God, she's always talking about herself, or he's always talking about himself. Mm-hmm. Now, if you flip it around and you ask yourself, am I helping people? does what I do help people? And you think about all the people that you've helped with your coaching services or your whatever you do to serve the world. Think about those people. Now, if you're not talking about what you do, how can those people, more people like that, find you? Mm-hmm. So it's your responsibility, and every day that goes by that you are not helping those people find you by being super visible and talking about what you do is another day that those people that need your help are going to go pay someone else that's maybe not as good as you or doesn't care as much. So it's your responsibility. You've been given these gifts from the universe, from God, from whatever you believe in. You have these amazing gifts that you can give. And if you're not talking about them, you are basically being a little selfish. So if you flip it around and you think of it like, it is my responsibility to make myself seen and to make myself visible to those who I can help. It is the number one most important thing, because if you don't do that, then you can't help anybody because they don't know where you are.
Powerful, so powerful. Those are amazing. So let's go on to step number 2. Once we are at this point where we say, I want to be visible and I want to be in the media and I want some publicity, but I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
How do we get clear on the message and what that message should be?
Talk to people. It's so simple and it's so easy. I always say to people, you know when you're having a conversation and you're talking about something and the person that you're talking to all of a sudden leans in more? Mm-hmm. Like they're like, oh, really? Like all of a sudden, and you know when you're talking to somebody and their eyes glaze over and they kind of do that meerkat thing where they're looking for somebody else that's a little bit more interesting to talk to? So pay attention to the things that you say that make people lean in, and pay attention to the things that you say to make people's eyes glaze over. Because sometimes, like I said about our stories, sometimes we think that some of the stories that we tell are so interesting and they're really not. And sometimes the stories that we tell we don't think are interesting and they really are. Mm-hmm. And the best way to find that out is to pay attention to people's reactions when you tell those stories. Mm-hmm. So what makes people lean in? For me, every time I talk about the fact that I was on VH1, all of a sudden people want to talk to me. I could talk about my business all day long and people are like, yeah. And then I say, oh, I was on VH1 for 14 seasons. They're like, what? You were? So I take that, even though that has nothing to do with what I do now, and I tie it into the story of what I do now, because that's what makes people pay attention. Mm-hmm. So do you have a story? And we also say your mess is your message. Yeah. So do you have a story that maybe is a little bit messy, that makes you super interesting and super relatable, that you don't really like to tell, but you know that when you tell it, people are like, oh, yeah, that's the story that you want to talk about.
And then, Jen, is that how we lead when we pitch the media? Is that what we use to craft an interesting pitch as well?
You can definitely use that. So when you're talking about crafting pitches, there's a couple of things that you want to keep in mind. If you're pitching the media directly, you want to make sure that your story is very timely to what's going on in the news. Mm-hmm. So let's say, and there's a great easy way to figure out what's going on, even if there's not like a major life event that's happening, like Kobe Bryant or like, things that happen like in the news. There's actually a national day, national week, national month calendar online. So there's like a national day for holiday for every single day of the year. So there's like National Friendship Day, National Donut Day. Is there a national day or a week that you can tie in your story to pitch the media? So you want to make sure that your pitch is super, super timely, and you want to lead with that. In honor of National Mental Health Awareness Month, I would love to talk about blah, 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 blah. And also the way that you tie your own story in, we say that there's 3 pieces to your personal pitch, like your story, like your elevator pitch. And we call it a simple structure story. So there's a conflict. So you start with your conflict. So you say, like, for Carolin, I'm sure when you started your business, like I was doing something else and I was miserable, and whatever your story is, the conflict of what made you become what you became, the resolution. So I decided that I wanted to start my own business and help women the way that I helped myself. And then how do you fit into the story? So conflict, resolution, how you fit in. So then Carolin Soldo helps life coaches build profitable businesses. So you have 3 pieces to that. So you want to make sure that your pitch is timely to the news, and think about all of the talking points that you could talk about that have to do with what's going on in the media right now and how you can tie your story along into it. And then you want to think about your conflict resolution and how you fit in.
Smart. Awesome. I love how tactical you are, like hands-on, right? Things that we can do right now. So awesome. So the next thing is potential. For a long time, Jen, I really stayed away from any sort of media because I thought there's nothing in it for me, right? It's going to take so long for it to have any sort of impact on my business. And I couldn't, see how publicity or media or anything like that would result in more money in my business, growth, more clients. So tell us a little bit about the potential that you see in those things and why businesses should really consider doing more of it.
Yeah. So media equals instant authority, and authority is your greatest asset in business. If you want to write a book, if you want to have a TV show, if you want to have a podcast that's popular, you need to have authority in your space. And Chris always talks about it, Chris Winfield, my partner, where, he would tell his parents what he did all the time and they would never understand what it was, or they didn't get it. They'd come to our apartment, they'd be like, what do you do for a living? I don't even understand. But then when we're on TV, all of a sudden, and their friends are calling them saying, oh my God, I see Jen and Chris on TV. That's so cool. They're on Fox or they're on NBC. Suddenly, Chris's parents are like, oh, you're so successful. Mm-hmm. Because when a third party recognizes you and gives you that stamp of approval, you are then all of a sudden anointed as the expert.
Sure.
And so what that does is you use that as leverage for your brand forever. And if somebody is looking for who to work with, like let's say you're a life coach, mm-hmm. and they are looking at you and somebody that is exactly the same level as you, same amount of experience, same price, exactly the same, and you have as seen on GMA, as seen on the Today Show, as seen on NBC, ABC, as seen in whatever, and that person has no stamps of approval and no third party verification that they're good, who are you going to choose?
Sure. Yeah. So it's all about getting the publicity, but then leveraging it the right way in our marketing, right? So making it visible, putting it into even email sequences, funnels, landing pages, everywhere. Yeah, I can totally see that. That's great. And so how do we get started? Assume that who's watching right now, our audience, assume they have no media experience whatsoever. No logos, no nothing, never done anything. What would be a great first step for them?
Okay, so the greatest first step is to just leverage your immediate network. So you don't need to do anything except for look at who you already know. And we call this, I can teach a really quick exercise to do that called the top 20. It's powerful, it works every time. And if you do it, I could 100% guarantee you that you will get media. Awesome. That's pretty cool, right?
Yep.
And it's free and it's amazing. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a piece of paper and make 4 columns. In the first column, you're going to do a dump list of 20 people that you know that could possibly connect you to somebody in the media or to a media outlet. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things are going to happen when you go to make this list in your mind. First, your mind is going to go, I don't know 20 people. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do. Go into your Facebook, look at all the friends you have, go into your contacts in your phone. These do not have to just be people in the entrepreneurial space. These could be your kids, friends, parents, your neighbor, your mom, your dad, anybody in your life that might know someone. Everybody knows someone, an anchor at a local news station, a writer, a contributor. Think really, really deeply. Who in your life would know somebody? Then your mind is going to go, oh, but Carolin, you can't reach out to that person. You haven't spoken to them in years. I don't care.
Yeah.
Write the name down. Don't think about that yet. Just write the names. Second column of the paper, you're going to rate each person on a scale of 1 to 10 on how influential they are. Now, not how influential they are on Instagram, like not how many followers they have, but how influential they are in getting you that connection or getting you that media. Mm-hmm. So let's say your best friend is the editor-in-chief at Good Housekeeping, mm-hmm. okay? I would say they're a 10 on the influential scale, sure. right? Mm-hmm. And in the next column, you're going to rate that same person on a scale of 1 to 10 on how likely they are to help you.
Oh.
So if it's your best friend, I would say that she's pretty likely to help you. I would say she's a 9 or a 10. But let's say you met the editor-in-chief at Good Housekeeping. Her name's Megan Murphy. You met her at Unfair Advantage Live for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. So you met her, you spoke to her for 5 minutes, but she doesn't need to help you. She doesn't even really know you. So I would say she's like a 1 or a 0 on how likely she is to help you.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
So then you're going to add up those scores. And you're going to sort all of the people in descending order, which means the people with the highest scores will be at the top. They'll be the easiest to reach out to. Mm-hmm. Then you are going to reach out to one person a day for 20 days.
Okay.
Here's the key. The people at the top are really easy. So those people you'll be able to just reach out and ask. Like you'll be able to say, hey, could you introduce me to whoever? Hey, I have an amazing pitch that I want to send, because those people have high scores.
Mm-hmm.
The people at the bottom maybe are people that you don't know that well. So you're going to have to recreate those relationships. So what's the best way to recreate a relationship with somebody? Do you know?
Call them up, email them. Hey, how's it? Just reaching out. That's what I would do.
Yes, but also you want to go a little further, because there's no reason for them to respond to you if they don't really know you.
Mm-hmm.
But think about how you can provide value to them. How can you help them before you even ask for anything or even say hello?
Mm-hmm.
Can you start working on providing value for that person? So are they a writer? Are they an author? Are they a podcast host? Could you share their content? Could you comment on their content? Could you write a review about their content and copy paste it and send it to them? Oh, I wrote this amazing review. Could you refer them a client? Could you write a blog about them? Could you write a post about them? Provide value for that person before you even go for the ask. And then the law of reciprocity will say, well, and I know for me personally, people have done this with me. If someone's going to help me without me even asking, going above and beyond, going the extra mile,
sure,
I'm going to say, hey, that was amazing. What do you need help with? How can I help you?
Mm-hmm. Smart. Yeah. So be really creative and look for ways. Don't even reach out. See what you can do for them, even behind the scenes, right? Just take that initiative and do it for them, and then make them aware of it. Yeah. Awesome. Love it. So great. Yeah. And that gets you over this hurdle of, oh my God, I can't approach them and they're not going to respond, and that awkwardness for sure.
Yeah. 100%.
Awesome. Speaking about more tips, what would be maybe mistakes, Jen? What are some deadly mistakes? I'm sure there are some when it comes to media and publicity.
That is such a good question, and not enough people ask me that question.
Mm-hmm.
So we have panels, media panels at Unfair Advantage Live, where we have like all the top people in media sit up on a panel and answer questions for our attendees. And they tell us what their biggest pet peeves are when people reach out to them. Okay, number one biggest pet peeve is spelling their name wrong. And you would have no idea how many people spell people's names wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Spell their name right. Number two is copy pasting the same email over and over again, and it's not personalized, and like the fonts are different. You know what happens when you copy paste.
Mm-hmm.
And like they mess up be intentional.
Yeah.
Be super intentional. They hate that. And another thing that they really don't like, think about it. These people in the media, they're getting hundreds and hundreds of pitches in their email every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they going to answer yours?
Mm-hmm.
Why? And they always say like, the very common question is like, how do I get you to respond to me? Get a personal connection,
Mm-hmm.
get a personal introduction,
Mm-hmm.
do something for them. Like find out someone that you have in common, use that top 20 list. And instead of just cold emailing people, use your relationship. That's your unfair advantage. Actually find somebody that knows them and get an introduction, and it'll be a lot easier, and that person will actually pay attention to you.
Wow. Yes, that makes sense. That's great. And what I'm hearing from you over and over again is relationship and high touch and quality and being real and all of that. Just, it feels so good too. It's just the right way to do it, right? That's awesome. One more thing I am personally curious about is which type of media we should start with. So there is the Huffington Post and the Forbes and the Ink, but there's also the morning shows, right? There's local, national, there are podcasts. Do you have a preference? Like, what's your favorite type of media?
Well, it all depends on what your business objectives are.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. If your business objectives are to make sales and that is it, you just want to make money and you want to be where your clients are watching, listening, viewing, reading, then ask your clients, what podcasts are you listening to? What blogs are you reading? What shows are you watching? Find out, because usually if that's your goal, to make money, your clients, or to make sales and to attract your ideal clients,
right,
usually it's more niche things. Usually it's not the things that you would think, like Good Morning America and the Today Show. Yes, those are sexy and glamorous and everything. And if you want to create authority,
mm-hmm.
then I would go that way.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to create an audience, I would go that way. But if you actually want to like bring in ROI, the way to do that is to leverage the media that you get. But also if you want to talk directly to your buyer, it's usually more niche. So you're going to ask them. There's probably podcasts out there
mm-hmm.
that will make you so much more ROI than the Today Show ever will.
Yes.
So it all depends on what my business objectives are, and that's how I would figure out which media is like my go-to.
Smart. Yeah. So is it brand awareness? Is it credibility? Is it authority? Yep. Or is it I need to grow my business now? Where are my buyers?
Yep.
Yeah. Makes
sense.
sense. Awesome. Jen, I want to know more about where people can find you. I know you're hosting events, you're doing so many incredible things, and how can people connect with you?
So you can always connect with me on Instagram. I am very active on there. So if you just want to say what's up and say hello, it's at Jen_Gottlieb. And then we host an amazing event in New York City. We're only doing one per year. It's an invite-only event called Unfair Advantage Live, 3 days where you actually get to physically connect with the media, make connections. Mm-hmm. It's also a community that you're in for the full year with other amazing entrepreneurs, and everybody's helping each other put themselves out there, create authority and credibility in the media. It's just epic and amazing. So if you are interested, if you're an entrepreneur that has a successful business and you are ready to start talking about it in the media, then it could be for you. So head on over to unfairadvantagelive.com, fill out an application, and we interview every single person because it is invite only, and we curate the room very carefully. So you'll get on a call with someone from our team, and we'll see if it's a fit.
Amazing. And do you know when the next one's going to be?
May 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Got it. Okay, so coming up soon. So depending on when you guys are watching this episode right now, maybe you're just in time to get an application in, right, to attend the event, and then learn all about, you know, being in the media, making connections, building relationships. I know the event is incredible, so highly, highly recommend it. We will be posting the links below to Jen's Instagram and Unfair Advantage Live, the event, everything you need to know. And then, yeah, definitely go check it out. Awesome.
Awesome.
Jen, anything else that you want to add or share today?
Oh, wow. That's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking me that. You know, just really hitting home that point of, I know a lot of your people, because I got to come to your event. I got to meet a lot of your amazing people that follow you, and they all had something in common, and that is that they're unbelievably passionate about what they do, and they help people in a big way. Mm-hmm. And if you feel in your heart that you have a responsibility to help people, that you've been given these gifts for a reason, you got to get out of your own way and you got to start sharing about it. It's so important. And once you start doing that, it frees you in a way you've never experienced, because then you've got no ceiling. Then you can help so many people. So if you're helping people, it's your responsibility to talk about what you do. And we can help you do that. So I'd love to connect with your peeps.
Absolutely. Love it. It's the ultimate freedom. Yeah. And I always say, I believe that, you know, you guys are meant to bring your passion and your message to the world, and people like Jen help you accomplish that so beautifully. So Jen, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for your time and sharing all of your amazing tips. Again, connect with Jen. Her contact will be below in the episode. And thank you all so much for watching and being here today.
Thanks so much, Carolin.
Okay, bye-bye.
And now I would like to hear from you. What were your big ahas in today's episode? How do you feel about publicity? Do you already have media appearances? Have you been featured in the media? Or is this something completely new for you? In the comments below, leave me a comment and let me know how you feel about publicity and using PR to grow your business. Now stay focused on your goals and get your message out there into the media. I believe that you're meant to bring your message and your passion to the world. If you like this episode, give me a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and then don't forget to come back again next week. Thanks for watching and take care.
Are you a woman business owner looking for the best ways to grow your business without working more? In my most popular training, I'll show you your biggest opportunities and what might be blocking your growth right now. Let's grow your business while making real space on your calendar, experiencing ease, spending time with loved ones, automating everything that makes sense, and letting go of overwhelm. Go to bullseyefix.com to watch the video right now.